Boomerang lands, which a lot of times it does, free charm because of the slow. If he shows up bottom lane, Ash presses arrow on anyone. Free money. He just has to walk up and show up, and then his side lanes can make the kills happen. Same thing goes for the jungler. If Wukong manages to get level 6, heck, if he just doesn't even get to level 6, he can get invisibly lanterned in from a Konomo and just pop out of nowhere. So I like the gank potential on these side lanes.
Yep. But now keep that thought in mind. Let's talk about this bot lane and the support Vigor we see, and how well it shuts down that roam potential.
That is very
because
true.
Event Horizon is stupid, and what is his ultimate called? Primordial Blast will murder an Ahri too.
That is very, very true.
Vigor does not need to build AP to shut down an AP mid laner. It just doesn't need to happen. So this Vigor support is probably going to shine really, really hard if Charmley decides to roam bot lane. I would expect Charmley to roam, if he's going to roam, probably go up towards this top lane, try to isolate this very, very killable Cassiopeia.
Yep. So what I'm going to do now is in the chat, I'm going to post a straw poll for who you guys think is going to win. I'm going to post that a couple times so everyone sees it. Go ahead, give me your votes because I want to see who do you guys think is going to take this game.
Ooh. You always do this to me, man. I gotta vote for Charmley. I gotta vote for Charmley. Even at the end of the day, if his team loses, he gets the moral victory.
Maybe I should stop throwing at Charmley because it is kind of an auto vote.
Like, let's be real here.
It's just funny to vote for one single person.
Oh my
right,
goodness.
Who do I vote for here? You know what?
You vote for Charmley.
I'm gonna vote for blue team.
You think so?
Oh wow, 8 votes for blue team? Dang.
Wow. I really, really think red team has a chance if they can. I mean, I think this is one of the most even pick man phases I've seen so far tonight, because we've seen a lot of games just kind of end up one-sided in pick man phase, and I expect a lot from both of these players or both of these teams this game. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about, oh nice, Relic Shield on the Vigor support. This allows him to continue to Q farm at the early levels while also giving his ADC some gold. So that's a really nice pickup.
Alright, so he doesn't want to go the blue trinket there for the harass?
Doesn't need it, honestly. He can, like, you don't need... You go the blue trinket because you want to get the gold, but Vigor directly gets combat stats by Q farming.
Right, that is true.
So, you know, by getting this Relic Shield, he's actually skipping the gold by getting direct combat stats. Not really a bad idea.
Sounds good to me. Now, this red side looking like they want to get a little bit of poke down on this brush. Crazy Carl is thinking about trying to throw down an invade here. Do they have the Event Horizon level 1 from Vigor? He has not picked a skill yet. Very smart.
I don't think you want to invade without the rest of your team without that anti-stun, because you just do not have the burst potential, I think, especially with a health crystal on that Thresh. It's going to be so hard to take down anybody.
Yep.
And it does look like we're going to see the old Season 1 strat. Blue side bottom lane is hiding in a bush, probably going to try to take advantage of that super Thresh auto and the crit out of Ashe.
And that can be substantial burst there. And if they should walk to the front of the brush here, because if they get the flay in, they can keep them in this brush and get some more follow-up damage. Walk forward, walk forward, walk forward, walk forward, Thresh, walk forward, please walk forward. That was actually a kill. That could have been a kill right there.
Yep. And instead that turned into an even trade, as actually it was probably advantageous for the red side, because Ashe ate all the damage, whereas Vigor ate all the damage for red side.
Yeah, that is very true. And he's going to have that Relic Shield, allowing him to get a little bit of healing back once he clears this next stack on him. Interesting how both supports, you know, they don't want to get too close. Vigor's going to pop his, oh my goodness, mid lane Charm lands on They Call Me Jim. He gets chunked out a huge amount by Charmley. Charmley just managing to get in these free auto attacks or trade auto attacks within the range. Ooh. Lands another Orb of Deception hit onto They Call Me Jim there. And now Jim is in a hard press situation underneath his turret. He does have a good substantial amount of mana there over Charmley. But, you know,
yeah.
if you don't have HP, what's the matter?
I'd rather have a full HP bar than a full mana bar.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
I mean, ooh, Charmely.
Oh my goodness, Konomo looking for the play there, puts down the reverse hook and gets hit by the Event Horizon. Ogre Bard actually goes in on this fight here and turns back around. He's still got his heal up, so technically he could have committed a little bit more there. Actually says, you know what, that Q missed, I'm not going to continue.
I like the patience on that heal right there. He recognized he was not an immediate threat of dying, so he realizes he can rely on the Vigor Relic Shield. Maybe he needs to pop it now. I was going to say he could rely on the Relic Shield plus his own auto attacks and lifesteal. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, good hook comes down, flay backwards. Dread Warrior is now going to throw down the Event Horizon and walk away. The power of that AoE stun is strong. You are forced to either stand there and not get stunned or walk forward and get stunned and still get nothing accomplished. Good jump over the head of Crazy Carl, gets DCB in a much closer position to the turn it, walks back, misses the actual... Ooh, misses the catch on the boomerang, so that cooldown will be way too long for him to utilize in a fight. Mid lane, Charmely ends up picking up a kill onto They Call Me Jim, and it looks like the Ignite will not take him out. He barely lives with 20 HP.
Yeah,
definitely. The bottom lane onto Dread Warrior, one more auto attack. Konomo just picks that one up. Good work. I always get the first kill on Thresh as well.
Oh my goodness, this is a Charmely almost went down to a straight minion auto right there, by the way, in that mid lane.
One ranged minion turns to the side and goes, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna hit this.
I'm gonna tap that. I'm gonna tap that.
Let me get a piece of that real quick.
If only minions could crit, man.
That one Trendemir minion.
Oh my god, just to look at the Charmely picks up an early Negatron cloak against Annie. I don't know how to value that, but if he's able to get these free auto attacks in all the time anyway, he does not need the extra burst. Like, that is a really techie buy.
Here's what I'm thinking. He knows that he's susceptible to burst damage from Annie. He can reduce that burst damage using his Negatron Coke and still go aggressive, but bot lane, Crazy Carl actually goes into this fight 1v2 against a Konomo. The actual Event Horizon was flashed over by Barracon, and now he's just slowly using these auto attacks to keep Crazy Carl off of a Konomo, and they do manage to walk away there as Redside was not ready to react to that gank.
Yeah, just a little bit of lack of synergy there. It was a nice Event Horizon coming out of Vigor. It forced the Ash Flash because the Thresh Lantern was down, but the Ezreal just was not in a position, not ready to go all the way onto that Ash, that Thresh there.
Yeah, so touching back on this Negatron and Cloak buy, I do want to elaborate here because this is something that I do very often on Zac. And it kind of is that same feel that you get with my early Thornmail buy. Yeah, you can build defensive, but you can still get aggressive. So he's going for the early Negatron Cloak buy, but he can immediately build that into an Abyssal Scepter, considering he's still getting very close to Annie in these fights. And it plays the same role as a Haunting Guise, but it's just a more safe purchase.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I definitely like it. I have a hard time actually. It's going to be interesting to see how he actually does damage in these fights, because what that means is he has to hit everything.
It's Charmely, he'll hit everything.
Oh, it's true.
Here's the thing though, like after seeing like all these Arias that miss both the charm and orb and then like kill you with like the Foxfire and the dashes, Charmely is a different animal. After seeing his Nidalee play, I believe fully in his ability to hit charms.
I agree. I feel like the point needs to be made that it requires him to hit everything.
Yeah,
I
it
expect
definitely
him
does.
to.
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness, top lane DCB gets in on Lance Talon, lands the wall stun there. One more auto attack was needed for the kill, but it's going to be the Cassiopeia only that saves his life. Event Horizon goes down to the bottom lane, does not hit anything. Good positioning on blue side's part to make sure that they do not get stunned out there. Yeah. And another orb hits on that Annie in the mid lane, chunking him out.
This is it does look like, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, we see the early longsword coming onto Ezreal, which indicates to me we're going to be seeing the Trinity Force, not the blue Ezreal, which I kind of like. Well, actually, I agree with. I think they need the damage to go to support that wombo combo. They're not going to be, oh, Ezreal catches a nice flay, but
good hook onto Dread Warrior there, but that Event Horizon stun's already ranked 2. It's getting to the point where it will shut down a trade. It will just destroy it completely.
Yep. Oh my goodness, Event Horizon's so dumb.
It is. It's too good.
It's too good. There are some skills that just need to be removed from the game.
I don't understand why it's allowed, but it is.
I mean,
It's something we're gonna have to live with.
I mean, like Amumu has an AoE stun too, but it's an ultimate and it has like a 50-second cooldown, right?
Right. So in the chat, they're still debating on this early magic resist buy. They're like, you know what? I don't know about that. I don't know if Abyssal is good. I mean, she still needs to have damage. I mean, you have to remember that Abyssal Scepter still has AP on it.
Yeah, TCP just walks in, tries to go for the dive, and just not. He was Mega Gnar, so once the rock was thrown, he couldn't close the gap.
Yep.
Oh,
Stun goes
man.
down here, and the Dunkarino does land. At this point, Red Side just destroys that Thresh. Honestly, could they go for a dragon here? I think so. They've got enough health on two people who probably want to go back to base anyway that they could just knock it over.
Well, you know, and you also got to remember the zone pressure that you have from the Vi and the Annie stun, and oh my goodness, look at that damage from the Wombo combo, man.
Oh my goodness, almost takes him out. Barrakan doing a great job of making sure he does not walk into that stun, because it will end his life. Mid lane, Charmely deciding to get the cooldown boots. I don't know about that one. That one's beyond me now. We've exceeded the realm of stretch explanation.
The problem is neither of us play the mid lane at any sort of high level, so we can't understand the logic behind this.
I don't know. I don't think Charmely does either. I think Charmely's just a troll at heart who happens to have good mechanics.
That's true. If we see a Warbogs next, then yes. If we see a Warbogs next, then yes. Charmely is just a troll with good mechanics.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, guys. But this. Oh my goodness.
Stun goes down in the mid lane as Charmely gets ignited and has to dash out of that. Runs towards the turret there, and he's like, "Dang it, my lucidity boots didn't help me there." I don't know what happened.
Oh my goodness! Event Horizon catches out Barrakan, and he catches the lantern out. Nice
good
by the
hit
Dread
from
Warrior,
Makomo there. In the mid lane, Darth Froshi is spinning as in the bottom lane. The kill does go down onto Ashe. Charmely. Oh, Darth Froshi goes in. One more auto attack will take out the Call Me Jim, and now the Crazy Carl actually procs the excessive fourth. Froshi flashes out there. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know, but that was excellent Event Horizon placement, by the way. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. The power of support Vigor is that Event Horizon is it's 100% lane pressure because it's so massive and that stun is so long.
It takes up so much space, and it's like, come on.
Like that's a 3-second stun. We were talking about Morgana's 3-second binding being dumb.
Top lane, Lance Teo takes the combo from Gnar and just gets bopped. Oh, hook lands onto Dread Warrior, but Ashe is nowhere to be found, and he's just trying to defend his pink ward. He just wants to keep it alive. Oh my goodness! Another ward goes down as Dread Warrior is desperate to get this pink ward taken care of. Walks into the Event Horizon. The Ogre Bard shows up in the middle of the box, gets stunned out by Barrakan, but the return damage coming out of Dread Warrior and Ogre Bard. He just throws down the Veigar ulti and just says, "What's up? What's up? I've got damage, son." And the funny thing about this interaction is Thresh's passive is giving him bonus AP, so that ulti's hitting a little bit more than it probably should.
This is so funny to watch. Ezreal catches the box right there and says, "You know what? Fine, take a banana." Like, deals with the slow by just killing Thresh. Oh, this is so brutal. You know, despite the farm being even on Ezreal and Ashe, Ezreal has a three-kill lead. Vigor is picked up. Can I see the Q stacks from this screen? Vigor has an additional 14 ability power, which does not sound like a lot, but
for support, it's meaningful.
Yeah, they call me Jim, roams to the bot lane, gets a nice Q stun on the Barrakan, but is he going to be able to get the second stun up? Tippus comes down, but it's just not enough. Oh no.
Top lane, DCB going in a little bit of shade there. They call me Jim in the middle of this Economo fight. Oh, DCB turns into Mega Gnar at just the right time, and Lance Teo has nothing to say about it there. He's just got a huge mana build, a little bit of HP there, but no resistances to handle him. Economo caught in the middle of a rock and a baby cage.
A rock in a house?
A rock in a house, pretty much, yeah.
Oh my goodness, the ping's coming in on the dragon. This is excellent timing. And part of the problem that Lance Tao, I want to mention, by the way, is having is he went for that full mana route. He got the tier and the catalyst of the protector, so he's looking to finish or get a lot of ramping done in this. CB is just punishing him for it. because he has no effective combat stats at the moment. He has mana, and a little bit of health, and DCB just keeps going hard.
Pretty much. He's got 260 bonus health, whereas DCB's got magic resist, you know, a bunch of health, life steal to stay in the lane that's slow, that does a little bit of damage too. Not to mention that his passive that just gives him so many bonus stats if he's able to get in range, which he has been able to do quite a few times already, so honestly, DCB is going to have a good time. I'd say he's got that outer turret down. You know that Cassiopeia is not a factor in this game. Throw up the roam. Get the roam done.
Yep. And one thing I also like coming out of Red Team is they call me Jim. He's not winning the lane like he wants to. He's down 14 CS and a kill, so he's been spending a lot of time roaming as he's come to the spot lane. Event Horizon comes into the Darth Froshi. Oh my goodness, that Primordial Blast is brutal. Ezreal catches a Flay. Hook lands on the Dread Warrior, but he should be able to just walk away. Exhausted traded onto the 80 carries too. And while that was happening, Vi just runs down Darth Froshi. Nice flash.
Slow from Barracon will slow down Vi a bit. Crazy Carl forced to charge up the Vault Breaker and get out of there.
Yep. Good movement by Crazy Carl to get out of that right there. Though they are getting roamed on in this bot lane, they might be in trouble as both of them are out of mana. And neither of them have their basically anything. They have a summoner heal available to them at the moment if we see a tower dive coming in.
Yeah, but it looks like Charmely is looking for the dive here. Baby Cage goes down, and he's going to take a little bit of damage from this Veigar, but not too much. Orb of Deception does hit on 2 passes on Ogrebard, but the charm does not land, and that's going to be Charmely completely out of mana. He does force the enemy off their turret, which will open up for some serious damage there, but he will not be able to follow up on these kills.
Yes. Sorry guys, I was responding to a message there. And Lupo, I do want to say that I do agree, Gragas support, he's talking about it in the chat. Gragas support is another one of those underrated off-meta supports that is just really strong with his damage reduction and just the raw base damages he has.
Yeah, the Gragas support has fantastic zone control he can throw down with those barrels in the lane, just deny walking locations for people and set up different plays. The knockback's also really nice for setting up ganks, as well as we see DCB using his teleport to roam to the mid lane by foot and show up back into the top lane by air. Thank you. That's a roam, my friends. Fantastic play by Dark Crimson Blade.
Yes, DCB, you're a monster. Keep the rotatos up. They call me Jim trying to set up a roam in this bot lane. Never mind, he's just farming. Dragon should be coming up in about 2.5, 3 minutes, and we see the 4-man stack on the spot side. Looks like they want Barracon or this tower to set the primer for this Dragon, as They Call Me Jim has his stun set up to go.
Top lane, Dark Crimson Blade looking for a little bit of a dive. He does get the rock throw down, and that's going to take out the kill on Lance Teo. The bottom lane, Red Team looking for a little bit of a tower dive there, but Barracon is going to be able to back up underneath the turret after using that heal. Economo shows up. He wants to try to defend this turret, but he's going to have to put his life on the line if he wants to do so. Too late, as the window for defending that tower has closed, and even if he had tried it, Tibbers was up on Annie, which I think he knew, so he did not want to go for it. Ooh, Charmely getting caught out in the tri-brush. He has to not only dash with his ulti, but also flash in order to get back out. Turns back around. Charm lands onto Dread Warrior as well as the Orb of Deception. Ulti comes out from Ogrebard. Ulti lands from Ashe. But where is Ashe? Oh, Ashe is finally walking onto the screen here and walks back in to pick up these auto attacks.
They could not have planned that, man. The Charm catches out Dread Warrior, and Charmely finishes him out with the Orb of Deception. Thresh lands the perfect hook onto Annie. The Annie stun never even comes down in the duration of the hook flay combo. And then the long range 3-second Ashe ult from across the map catches out Ogrebard. That was just phenomenal godsend right there for the blue team.
A little bit of a chase coming down from the top lane from onto DCB between Lance Tao and Crazy Carl, but Crazy Carl just did not have enough mana there to throw down the assault and battery and pick up a kill. Charmely gonna try to charm off the wall, picks it up with the orb. No, support picks it up with the flay. Don't mind me. I was gonna say that was a fantastic charm of the wall. They did have the pink ward down there for the vision though.
Yeah. Let's just say no. That's my lunch money, man.
Look, I've got bills too. I have needs. Stun lands from They Call Me Jim onto Charmely, and it looks like he's going to just get driven out with the presence of Economo off to the side there. I think I got a peek of him in the brush. Charmely throwing out the orb to clear out the wave here. Economo throwing down the lantern just for a little shield action.
One thing. Yep.
Go ahead.
One thing we didn't talk about, by the way, is how risky of a team comp Red Team is playing. They have a great explosive wombo combo and all that, but a little bit of armor or MR goes a long way. Ezreal even does magic damage. You have 3 AP carries in the form of Viger, who's going to slowly be trying to scale up with his passive. You have the top lane Cassiopeia, the mid Annie. If you get 70, 100 MR, this wombo combo is going to do almost no damage. And you throw into the fact that Ezreal does a lot of mixed damage, that's going to help too. I mean, Blue Team has, if they recognize it, they have a good chance to stack MR and go far in this game.
Yep. Yeah. Very, very true. As we see both sides just kind of prepping themselves, getting ready for this next dragon spawn, which is coming up in about 20 seconds. Red side kind of running around the backside of the pit. They're probably going to get a ward on the back of this red side brush. As we see Charmely chasing out Crazy Carl, looks for the charm, has to turn back around though as he sees They Call Me Jim show up. Baby Cage goes down, ulti from Vigor also lands. It's going to be the Dunkarino from Vi as well, but in the very end, Ogre Bard picks up the kill. Right here, that should be a turret and an immediate rotation to Dragon. Every team is looking to snowball this game.
Yeah, they need to get both of these objectives if they want to do anything in this game. Ezreal catches the Ash Arrow after proccing tower aggro. Not really what you want to do. Dark Thrush and coming in with the invisible devastating blow. Ouch.
I don't know why he didn't spin on that. I would have immediately thrown out ulti and been looking for additional knockups there, but he ends up just looking for the clean kill on Vi. And now it looks like Blue Team who's got the pressure here, and they're going to rotate towards this dragon pit and try to get that initial first buff for the blue side. They walk past the pink ward. Barracon spots it out, they're going to pick that up easy.
Yeah, it's still dangerous to do this dragon. I mean, they're probably going to get away with it because They Call Me Jim isn't rotating. But you have the wombo combo still of Viger plus Annie. Annie still has tippers available. Like, it's definitely dangerous to try to go for this. But they get it. Nice and easy with the double pink ward in the pit.
You gotta have 2 eyes to see everything.
Yeah, man. There might be wards hiding behind the dragon.
Yeah. Alright, so Dark Crimson Blade just kind of laying down a little bit of a lot of pressure in this top lane. Honestly, he's got that teleport back up, so he's keeping Cassiopeia away from the enemy team, as well as opening the map up for the rest of his comp. Oh, the jump lands, and it's a late ulti coming out of Lance Tao there that's going to try to hold him in place long enough to clean up the kill. Will this poison take him down? It will. Wow, that actually did a surprising amount of damage on its own at the very end there.
One thing we need to also mention is we've been kind of ignoring it because it's been working for DCB at this point, but he needs to start roaming more than just TPing, roaming to mid, collecting farm, and Economo just going to flay Crazy Carl, and he's probably going to finish him with the box pop right there, unless Lance Tao has enough damage. Nope.
Ooh, a good shield comes out, and now Froshi shows up. He actually did not get the Q to land before starting the spin animation there. Not only that, but the flash out was just quick enough from Lance Tao that he got away to the turret.
Yep. But yeah, DCB needs to really start applying more map pressure because as it is, all he is doing is trying to shut down a scaling champion that's committed the entire early to mid game to scaling, which isn't going to do much at this point in the game. Like, he's killed Cassiopeia 3 times, but she's finally finished her Roa. Her tier is more than halfway stacked. Like, DCB is just not doing anything by sitting in this top lane, man.
Yeah, there's 2 different reactions he can have to a scaling champion like Nasus, Cassiopeia, Veigar. People who farm up very quickly into the late game, or not even very quickly, but become a huge problem in the late game. You can either deny them scaling up by sitting in a lane like DCB is doing. And trying to hold them back for as long as possible, or what you can do is start to accelerate your own team scaling by getting more gold into the hands of your teammates through turrets, through the dragon objectives, maybe a Baron call, something like that, and that's just going to have the same effect pretty much. But you open up the map more to more plays, and you help everyone else out at the same time.
Yep, I mean, and it's not even like he's got a 50 CS lead. Let's look at the actual gold difference. It's about a 2.6k, about a 2.6k gold lead right now, but it's not that big of a deal. They Call Me Jim catches the death sentence from plus play from Economo, but I really don't know if Economo has the backup to merit that play. Yeah, as he's just going to walk away. Lance Tower gets popped in the top lane from DCB Charmley combo, and this top lane tower is finally going to go down. They Call Me Jim and Ogre Bard in a dangerous position as Crazy Carl charges up his Q and misses.
Yeah, out. Ooh, arrow lands from the back of Ogrebard, and I guess he just used his dash before it happened. Crazy Carl going in with the Assault and Battery onto Dark Crimson Blade, who's trying to kite back with the Boomerang, but it does not work there. Charmelee's is going to do a lot of damage in this fight here. He tries to find his bearings with Crazy Carl, but no, the baby cage holds back Economo, and therefore they cannot follow up on the rest of these 3 kills, even though Darth Froshi really wants that gold. He's got his ulti up.
Yeah, Veigar got a little antsy there and used his ultimate because he thought he was going to die. He popped it onto, I think, BCB. If he had saved that for... That could be why Ari went the Moby, or went so magic resist heavy, by the way, now that I think about it. She's not trying to AB... Charmelee's not trying to AP stack because he's terrified of getting Veigar ulti.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, he needs the defensive stats early, not only because of the anti-burst, but because Veigar is a factor. He will be a problem. Ooh, Charmelee 1v1 in the mid lane versus They Call Me Jim does not hit the charm and only half of the Orb of Deception right there. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a little slower than the average bear. I finally picked it up, though.
There you go, yo.
I'm glad. I got there, guys. In the end, I got there. But yeah, in that last fight, Dread Warrior, if he had saved his ulti for Charmelee, there was a chance they could have turned the fight, but even then it was pretty rough.
Yeah, Dark Crimson Blade now has rotated to this bottom lane. He's putting the pressure on and keeping Ogrebard down here. This is a fantastic time for Blue Team to be looking for this fight. I mean, toss the arrow out there. Just see if it lands. I always say this when I see these Ashe players is they hold their arrow like it's a baby, but throw it out there like it's a weapon. Oh my goodness, in the jungle, the Dark Crimson Blade gets caught out outside of his... Okay, interesting backing location for Charmelee, as he can smell the cologne from Ogrebard. Oh my goodness.
Can't smell good either. Ogres don't bathe.
Yeah, right?
But
just runs around playing music, begging for money, and smelling terrible.
Terrible, man. Dragon's up in 1 minute, so this is actually pretty good for the red team. If they can get those the ward positioning around the dragon. Dragons are always an important objective. Darth Frost, you try to set up a kill on Ogrebard, he just kind of hangs out in this river brush, goes invisible, and flash Qs.
Ooh, Barricon throws down the ultimate. Oh my goodness, so much damage coming out from Darth Froshi in the bottom lane versus him and Ogrebard. One more auto attack would have allowed him to die, but too much damage from this Wukong right now. I'd say Wukong needs to start getting tanky. Because the damage burst is real. He does need to be careful.
Yes, he does. Like we need to see that MR coming onto everybody on the blue team. Like I talked about it. Oh my goodness, They Call Me Jim. Sick flash. Flashes the back half of the Orb of Deception right there. Charmelee commits though with the dash.
Good flash forward. All right, some damage is going to come out from Lance Tile. The actual poison circles do miss though, and that's not going to give him the speed boost he needs. Charmelee just throwing that orb backwards as he kites away. Oh, Dark Crimson Blade showing up to this fight. He sees his enemies on the ward there. Oh, kites back out of the baby cage there. And that baby cage is so good for zoning. I love these zone control characters we're seeing tonight. Anivia, Azir, Veigar now. Just able to control these areas where you don't want to have people walking, as we see Dark Crimson Blade getting a little bit caught out. Has a lantern to safety though, so he's going to be okay. And he's going to be able to heal up using that Black Cleaver as well on this way.
Yes, very true. Just so the audience is aware, Veigar is now sitting at plus 26 AP. He hasn't really been able to use that Face of the Mountain to its full value. His team's not really letting him get the Q stacks after the laning phase was committed. This is one of the problems with Face of the Mountain that any support faces though, so we'll kind of see what happens. As blue team just kind of commits hard for the dragon. Really good map movement right there. When in doubt, yeah. Very, I've been told we're not blaming Gankenstein enough for this game.
Oh.
Charmelee dashes forward and gets right into the baby cage, man. Catches the Primordial Blast. Vault Breaker comes straight onto Economo, but I think the box is going to be enough to save Economo's life.
Charlie lands onto Dread Warrior and he ends up walking forward there, but not enough follow-up that's going to come out of that. So a lot of damage getting thrown in both directions, but no one actually ends up dying there, as we see Dark Crimson Blade throwing down the Boomer Karanga Harass. And he's not going to actually engage you. It's just going to be really annoying. I love Nar, dude.
This is so funny. This is so funny.
All the time. Just throw stuff around.
Red team needs to back right now, because what's going to happen is both of the people that soaked all the damage from blue team went back, reset their mana, their health, whereas red team hasn't gone back. Their mana is still low, the health is still low, so if another team fight happens, red team's going to be in deep trouble. Oh.
For sure, as we see Ogre Bard clearing out the bottom lane there. Blue side, they're going to go ahead and pick up this blue buff, probably toss it on to Charmley, give him a little bit of extra mana regen. He does have his Void Staff completed, which means that any magic resist built by the red side is going to be reduced that much in its value, even though currently they don't have that much. So I don't know. I don't know about that fight still.
I think he's still trying to deal with the Vigor and the Annie at this point. So he's trying to get similar. He does not want to get annihilated by a single Vigor ultimate with a Wombo combo. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to get as much bang for his buck out of as little AP as possible. So he's picking up. He's probably going to go Abyssal after this Void Staff. He's just trying to get as much penetration as possible to make the fact that he's not stacking ability power count for as much as possible.
Very true. As we see the hook land in the middle lane on Ogre Bard, good Q comes down from Darth Roshi and it forces Ogre Bard back out of the fight, but the baby cage just holds everyone in place for way too long, and Red Side cleans up that kill. Nice and easy. Top lane stun combo comes out from Dark Crimson Blade onto Lance Teo, as well as the Blade of the Rune King active to hold him in place for just a little bit longer. Charmley actually gets cut out by Baby Case in one of these fights. Salt and Battery goes down from Casey Carl on him. A Q from Ogre Bard from over the wall does a pretty good chunk of damage. And that's going to actually take out Charmley in the mid lane. Blue side now left with only 2 people on the map. Red team, very low, is going to go ahead and use this time to reset. I'd say they need to start getting a little bit more advantageous in these fights and then get some deep ward coverage in the enemy jungle so they can start making more of these zone controlling pick plays, because they are just working so well for them at the moment.
They sure are. Red team, they're struggling really hard. They're down 5k gold, and it's been about 5k the entire game. And I think they're just not recognizing what their win conditions are. Maybe they're putting too much emphasis on stalling the game out, allowing Cassiopeia and Vigor time to scale. But that's a dangerous game when all that blue team needs to do is build MR to survive the scaling period.
Right.
So if red team does not start putting more emphasis on these dragons, on these barons, then we're going to see probably this game just kind of at a certain point tip completely into blue team's favor as we see more Banshee's Veils come out.
Yep. Very true. As red team gets their red buff onto Ogre Bard there, that additional slow is going to allow him to kite even more than an Ezreal normally would. I like this Ezreal's build as well. Trinity Force IE, since you're so, you've got the ability to crit with those Qs and auto attacks, and you're always a casting-based champion, so the Trinity Force is always effective there. I'd say that's the 2 corest of core damage items you want to have on Ezreal. Ooh, good prediction on that punch there. Oh my goodness, all of the abilities hitting on Wukong. Hook lands onto Ogre Bard, dash in from Charmley, zeroes out the health bars there. Akonimo goes back in, he walks back out. Technically, he could have stayed in that fight. You're very healthy, my friend.
Yeah, I don't really know why blue team backed off right there. They got the excellent hook. They isolated and removed Ogre Bard from the map. They call me GM missing his hook right there. By Crazy Carl going greedy for a ward, gets taken out by Nard. This is rough, man. Baby Cage is just working wonders to disengage these fights, but it's just, you can't keep disengaging. At a certain point, you have to win, right? Oh no, Lance Tao gets caught out by DCB, and he's just going to get popped with a boomerang harass. There's the Mega Gnar with the stun, and the boulder comes down.
Yeah, Lupo asking in the chat, can Q crit? It applies all auto attack on hit effects. Critting is an on hit effect.
Yep.
So it can crit. Diving deep into the base, Dark Crimson Blade going forward and landing that stun to They Call Me Jim. Turns around with the Tibbers pop onto Akonimo and does take him out. Flash forward from Charmley with the charm. Does not actually take out this Annie, and she actually gets the kill onto Gnar as well. Now blue team has pushed forward, getting that inhibitor turret down.
Unfortunately, True Shot Barrage misses out on the Charmley kill. But he does they do manage to save the inhibitor, so it's not all bad for red team. Oh my goodness. What do you do as red team? They need to start winning team fights, right? That's because all these team fights are basically leading off with some key target getting hooked or charmed from the blue side. So maybe we need to see some Banshee's Veils coming out. Because I haven't seen Wukong be effective or Ashe being that truly effective in these team fights yet. So maybe prioritizing an early Banshee's Veil for some of the key targets is important at this phase in the game. Though the red team is picking up Dragon right now. They go right to the pit. They're lucky in this Dragon spawn time right here. I do not think they have the timer.
Ezreal looking to jump over the wall. I don't think he's got the cooldown quite yet. Ooh, damage comes down, and it looks like they're actually going to kill the Wukong clone before the Dragon goes down, and Wukong's actually going to walk right out of this fight here.
Let me ask you a question as we see them chasing down Wukong. It's probably going to be a Vigor kill with this Q, maybe? Nope. Yep. Does queuing, or like, does Gnosis queuing, or does Vigor queuing grant you the additional AP on a Wukong clone? Because it counts as a player, right?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, it will not trigger the bonus. I think it will trigger it as a minion.
Okay, because I just don't know how that works. Because a lot of purposes that is what the case. It will count as a player in most cases. Charmley getting vibe punched in the face. There's the true shot barrage too. Ashiel comes out and catches Dread Warrior. Ouch.
Uh-oh, Dark Crimson Blade shows up on this fight and turns everything back around. They actually stack the CC on both the Baby Cage and the Cassiopeia ulti, so not nearly as much stun duration as they could have had there, but you know, it's a little bit difficult to juggle those two cooldowns. These things happen.
Well, actually, it kind of worked out in the end, though, because the Cassiopeia stun duration is shorter than the duration that the Baby Cage is out, so they were stunned, and then anybody that was actually trapped in the Baby Cage got stunned again. It was a little OP. If they moved, I think. So, that was... Again, somebody just kind of... They thought they had caught Charmley there, and they just didn't finish him because of Charmley's build. So they overcommitted for the kill, and then just kind of got picked out as the second inhibitor falls for the red team. This is getting hard, man. What...
At this point in the game, it's difficult. It's super difficult to make a comeback from here, and we see it all the time in pro play too. Like, once you have two inhibitors down, it's very rare to see a team come back. In fact, I think only one team has done it, now, like in the past season of the LCS, and that was like Complexity after like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just super hard.
I wonder if maybe Red Team needs to just commit to the idea. They might be going for a Baron right here, and they might luck out because there is no Baron vision. They see DCB on the bot side, and they go straight for the Baron pit, man. They have tons of damage to do this too with that Infinity Edge, Trinity Force, Cassiopeia tears down Baron too. Charmley coming in for the flank, but Baby Cage does wonders at peeling on Baron pit too, man. Ashiel comes in, whacks Crazy Carl, Baby Cage comes down to peel, Thresh Box is probably not going to be enough, Cassiopeia and just a Konomo. Konomo gets picked, Ogrebard caught out in the pit by himself, splashes the charm, and Darth Froshi just kind of whirlwinds out Cassiopeia.
Yep. Ogrebard looking for the kill onto Charmley, actually picks it up, but the one single auto attack from Barrakan will take him out. Dark Crimson Blade knocks Annie back, but doesn't get the stun, and therefore his other stun will miss. Barrakan now getting slowed out by both the smite from Wukong and the slow from Ashe. And that's going to be blue team probably pushing up towards this bottom lane. They don't even need to actually do that. They can just lock the game in.
This is game. 4 people are dead. Blue team, I mean, the Baron call was probably the right call. They needed to do something to try to come back in this game. And sometimes these, taking that Baron, if they got away with it, was a step in the right direction. Both inhibitors, or both Nexus Towers go down to minions. But you have to, at some point in the game, you have to start making aggressive plays. You're just going to hemorrhage the game otherwise. And there goes the Nexus, yeah. Good game, everybody.